it's that time of year again. Fall is upon us. It's gotten a little bit chilly, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And that means one thing. It's time for Cape Ann Plein Air. So today we're here. My name is Chuck Hayback. I'm one of the people who helped found the organization. We're here with our project manager, Susan Coviello, and board president, Mike Starella. And we're going to talk a little bit about the event and what's coming up for Cape Ann Plein Air in 2019. So, Susan, well, actually, I'm going to start with Mike. Mike,
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about the event and where, how did this all start?
Well, it's as you said, Chuck. It's about 4 years old, and frankly, it started with a group of us 4 years ago in Manchester by the sea, when a couple of us had gotten together at a Sea Arts board meeting, and we kind of started discussing, why don't we have a plein air event or competition in Cape Ann? And at the time, there were many happening around the country. So at that point, I think a few of us said, well, let's do it. And we actually went and saw Ken Reel at the Cape Ann Chamber and convinced him to hop on board. And we actually talked to North Shore Art Association, Rocky Neck Art Association, and the Rockport Art Association. And finally, we all got together and kind of formed a group, and we kicked it off. And I think the thing that was most impressive was that basically it was like 5 nonprofit organizations collaborating to bring on Cape Ann Plein Air. And that's how it started. And as you know, we started our first year with humble beginnings, and we hired a project manager, and we've been doing it ever since. So it's grown in size, and we hope it keeps going.
It's funny to drive around now and see the stickers on people's cars, not only when you're here on Cape Ann, but if you're all over the North Shore. And I've actually seen a few in Connecticut and New Hampshire as well. So it's
good.
The popularity has grown hugely. So it's great. We've done a pretty good job, I think. Susan?
Well, I think it's important to note that the whole idea of it is to really sort of elongate the season on Cape Ann. We do it on a shoulder season for a reason, because we want to keep tourists in the area. We want to have offerings that we will bring people back up to help support the creative economy on Cape Ann, so that it's not just a June through the end of summer sort of event, but that we can actually add to the events and elongate the season into late October, which I think is something that's important to recognize as well.
And I think if people are here during October, they recognize that this is probably the most beautiful time of the year here on Cape Ann. It's really a spectacular time.
Absolutely. We have 40 artists that were juried in. Probably 10 of them are from Massachusetts in the local area, which is really very exciting. And we had this year 14 artists who have never come to Cape Ann Plein Air before. So we're really excited about that. They come from all over the country. We had about 200 applicants, and we're able to choose 40. So they're all gearing up. They're very excited to come. They're on their way. Some of them are actually here now. They stay in local homes, which is really great. We have really welcoming host families who open up their houses for a week to 10 days to put up an artist or two, or an artist and their sibling or their wife or husband or father this year. And we're really grateful for that as well. We think that it's just a really great way to build the arts community on Cape Ann.
Susan, how are these artists chosen from amongst all the artists who, there's a plethora of artists who are really incredible, who are right here. How do we find 40 artists from across the country to come here and be part of this?
Well, plein air painting is really prevalent in the United States, and it's a really growing movement. And there are plein air events that happen all over the country all year. And well-known plein air artists will apply to as many as they can. They apply to ones that have really good reputations and large purses. We give away over $20,000 worth of prizes every year. And it's a blind test, so they apply online. We hire a juror who is able to view the art, but not the names. He or she does not know who they are choosing for it, and they go ahead and pick 40 artists and then 10 alternates, because inevitably we lose an artist or two due to different circumstances, so that it is a completely unbiased choosing of the artists.
That's great.
And now at the end of the event, or at our gala, which basically happens at the end of the week, we should probably tell you a little bit about the process. So these 40 artists go out and paint basically for 6-7 days, and they have to produce 5 pieces of art, and we bring those back to another judge, and this year it's at the North Shore Art Association, where that judge will be the one in charge of giving out the cash awards to, is it 17 prizes we have
At
this
least,
year?
yeah.
At least 17 prizes, and as Susan mentioned already, $20,000 or over $20,000 worth of prize money. And that kind of gets onto the finance a little bit. Cape Ann Plein Air became a nonprofit last year, and we've recently, our board has recently voted to, if we have monies that our beneficiary will be Cape Ann Community Foundation.
Right.
And every year we're going to review how much money we basically can afford to maybe donate to that organization, because we believe that's a great organization that's providing an avenue for grants in Cape Ann.
And gives back to the community.
Yeah,
Right,
and gives back to
exactly.
the community.
Good.
So we're really happy about that. And as far as financially, 60% of our art sales go back to the artists.
Right.
And 40% is used to run the organization, frankly, with our partners like North Shore Art Association. And this year, the Shipbuilding Museum will have what we call a quick draw. And probably, Chuck, you could explain what a quick draw is.
We'll get into that. I did
Okay.
because you did mention the gala.
Yes.
Susan, can you tell us a little bit about what a gala is? For
Sure.
this?
So first of all, you get all dressed up in your finery, and you park very carefully around North Shore Art Association. And it's a time where all the art is hung. The artists have painted for 5 or 6 days. They submit 5 paintings that are available for judging, and they're hung, and Linda and her team do a great job at North Shore Art. The judge comes early and goes through and awards first, second, third prizes, and then there's about 15 additional prizes.
What's first place prize?
$6,000. So first place is $6,000, second is $4,000, and third is $2,000, and then we have additional awards running from $1,000 down to $500. And so the judge will go ahead and judge those, and the artists then are there, and the public comes. It's $75 per ticket. You can buy the tickets on our website, and if you buy a painting that evening, you can subtract the $75 from the cost of the painting.
Wow, that's a great deal.
It's a really great deal. And while we're on the subject of the awards, I just want to mention that we could not do this without our sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
We have really important partnerships with local sponsorships, including Engel and Volkers by the Sea, Stephen and Jill Bell, Applied Materials, Beauport Hotel, Brookwood Financial, the Dusky Fund of Essex Community Foundation, Basel General Contracting, Cape Ann Savings Bank, Kneisel Foundation, Rotary Clubs of Cape Ann, and then many partners who have given us, and friends of the arts who have given us $500 to sponsor a specific award. We could not do that without them.
I'm also really impressed that we're able to house the artists in host homes with host families. I think that's really incredible, because it also really gives them a one-up. They're not staying in a hotel. They're actually staying with somebody who knows the place and knows the lay of the land.
Exactly.
It gives them a little bit of an advantage that way.
Exactly. So the gala is on Saturday, October 12th from 6 to 9 at North Shore Art Association. As I said, the tickets are available online. They're $75 per person. And then the quick draw, which is on Monday, Columbus Day, is in Essex. The artists paint from 9 to 11, and then they sell their artwork after that. That is a judged show as well. And our judge, Ken Backhouse, will be back there to do that on Monday. And there's lots of other things going on because Cape Ann Week has expanded. And maybe, Chuck, you want to talk a little bit about Cape Ann Week?
Well, sure. Cape Ann Plein Air always started as an economic driver.
Right.
What we were hoping to do is refocus the attention on the arts up here on Cape Ann. But it doesn't happen independent of everything else. It happens with partnerships of restaurants and all sorts of businesses who have things that are going to be going on. So if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about the other offers that are going on, because I haven't really delve very deeply, unfortunately.
I think there's about 20 on there.
I know,
Yeah,
and there's a
yeah.
great map
Right.
on our website, www.capeandpleinair.com. If you want to find out anything about our event, you can look us up under Cape and Plein, Plein Air, Cape and Plein Air. We have the Facebook, the Instagram, and the website. We even have a Twitter, but I don't think we've used it since we opened
We
it
stay
up.
away from Twitter now.
We just
Yeah, we-
avoid that.
So to your point, I think a couple of highlights are certainly the Art Haven is doing a paint out with kids on Saturday, October 12th from 10 to 12, and at least 4 of our Kappa artists have agreed to go and paint with them down in Main Street.
So
That's
they'll act as
For the last
mentors
couple
for
of-
the
yes,
children.
yep,
That's great.
absolutely. Rockport Art Association is hosting a Mavali exhibit, which I think is starting this weekend. But on Wednesday evening from 7 to 8:30, they're having Stapleton Kearns come to do a talk about Charles Mavali. So that's on Wednesday
should
of
be
that
good.
week.
That should be excellent.
And the day after the gala, all day at North Shore Art Association, the art will be hanging for sale again during the day, and our judge Ken Backhouse will be doing a gallery talk and walk, and he'll talk about how he picked the winners, what it takes to be a winning painting, what he saw in each one that sort of drew him into what specific award that he gave it. So that's really exciting as well. That's on Sunday after the gala, so we're really excited about that. And then again, we close with a quick draw on Monday in Essex.
Now, along the way, if people want to come up and see the artist's work, want to see them in the field doing their thing, is there a way to sort of coordinate and to know a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We encourage the artists to check in at North Shore Art Association every morning or anytime during the day and just let them know where they're going to be painting. But more importantly, because we're all 21st century chicks and guys now, we have social media, and we have a wonderful social media manager. Colleen is going to be asking the artists to check in with her, let her know where they're painting, and she can let real-time information out on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll continue that communication so that the public, if they go to our Facebook page, will be able to find out where artists are painting in any
So right up
particular
to
day.
the moment, they
Absolutely.
can say, "Oh,
That's
there's
good.
somebody
That's
over at
good.
Eastern Point."
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yep.
Now, if somebody is out in the field and sees a painting, or if they see something on our Facebook page, can they buy a piece of art before the event?
They can.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. If it is a painting that the artist wants to put in for judging, it can be sold, but they can't take it until after it's entered in for judging.
Of course.
Right.
So the paintings, some of them may be pre-sold before they get to the gala, but not generally. But if anybody sees an artist who is painting and you're interested in that painting, absolutely talk to the artist. The artist will get in touch with me, and we'll make that happen.
Of course, art is an impulse buy.
Great.
So when you see
Exactly.
it and you love it, you don't want to risk having
And when you're
someone else.
meeting meeting the artist, you're able to have a conversation with the artist as that artist is creating the piece of work. It's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. So one of the things I keep holding up is our little program guide.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, I wanted to really thank all our advertisers who helped us put this guide out. So in this book, all 40 of the chosen artists are highlighted, with their backgrounds, their websites, some of what they say they get out of Plein Air. And so there's they're in 80 locations around Cape Ann. So if you
great.
grab one of these and take a look, and again, please say thanks to our sponsors for
Absolutely.
doing this, our advertisers.
Absolutely.
So I see the artists right here: Arizona, Illinois. We've got Massachusetts and New York.
Yeah.
Newport Beach, California. That's pretty impressive.
It is
They're
pretty
coming
impressive.
from far and wide.
Yeah.
They are. Mike Kowalski came from New Zealand or Australia to the West Coast and now to here. So
Wow.
he's traveled quite a long distance as
So this
well.
is really now an international event.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So another thing I think for our artists out there from Cape Ann, and there are plenty of artists on Cape Ann, every day next week there is a demo in one of the 4 Cape Ann cities of Manchester, Rockport, Essex, and Gloucester. So get online, show up for those demos. They're going to be very talented people. One of them is from John Caggiano's doing a demo, and I know Dave Curtis is doing one. So if you want to see some real talented artists in the field doing plein air painting during the week before the big weekend, I call it, but you can look those up online.
So it's an educational aspect of this.
Absolutely.
It's open to the public so that they can
Yeah.
actually learn a little bit more about how plein air paintings are made, or So question and answer, is that possible?
Absolutely. These people love doing this stuff. So most of them are prepared to answer any question somebody might have and say, why did you put that color there on that piece in that corner? I don't see that color. I mean, and they might explain, well, that might be my undercolor, and I might put another color on top of it later. So they're clearly enthusiastic about what they do. So
the audience is a little bit more advanced than just asking, how the hell did you do that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, good.
Exactly.
And we should also note that most of the events that we are holding for the entire week are free. Some of our partners who are participating in Cape Ann Week, some of the restaurants are offering discounts and drinks named after somebody, and motels and hotels are offering discounts. But a lot of the things that we're doing are free, including the demos, including coming to the quick draw. If you're not participating, you have to pay if you participate. But if you just want to come and look and buy, going to those events are free. So it's important to note that most of them are free of any sort of charge to get in.
So that's been mentioned twice now. Quick draw.
Yes.
What is a quick draw?
Well, actually, I was going to bring it up again too, because it's a real fun time, and most people don't know what a quick draw is. But essentially, and 40 of the artists, I think that the chosen artists, I call them, that came all week in a painting
jury,
5-piece,
plein air painters.
the jury painters. We're going to have an additional 40 to 50, maybe even more, local artists who actually participate in that quick draw. So the quick draw starts basically at 9 a.m. The artists have to be in place and start painting. And then they have to put their brushes down essentially at 11 a.m. And then we have, as Susan mentions, we have a judge, the original judge, come back, and he judges in two groups of the original 40 juried-in artists and the additional artists from the public. Now, all these artists have basically 2 hours to create a piece of artwork. Then these all get hung in the Shipbuilding Museum
In Essex.
And clearly we're going to have available some food and probably spirits, and we'll have a good time for that whole afternoon. And it shuts down. It's kind of the ending of our whole week at 5 o'clock that day, I believe.
4 o'clock. Yeah,
4
around
o'clock.
4.
Right.
So 2 hours to make a painting, is that enough time?
It is. Well, they're not large paintings. They won't be large. I think we gave them 12 by 18 or 12 by 16 as the minimum or maximum size. And they have to be framed, so they have to be really prepared to do this. I've seen most artists, it's very interesting. There's a theory that sometimes your first impression of what you do is better than when you try to diddle with it for a long time, and sometimes you mess it up. So
there's no time to think. You just
there's no
gotta
time
paint.
to think. Just paint. Yeah. Don't pitch. Just
Sure.
throw.
And it's true plein air painting, because plein air painting is painting
Yeah.
without the benefit of photography, without the benefit of taking your painting back to your studio and touching it up and doing it again the next day, and looking at your photograph that you took yesterday. It's completely done on the spot. And so this is like a microcosm of that, what they'll be doing all week long. You get to see them do it in 2 hours. And the paintings that come out of this are just amazing.
Amazing.
Absolutely
paintings.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to wrap up. So Cape Ann Plein Air is going to be October 6th through 14th. The artists, just a couple days from now that they're going to be,
They
well,
show
2
up.
days from now
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Yikes.
The opening reception is at North Shore Art Association, correct?
At 6 o'clock.
At 6
on
o'clock.
Sunday.
On Sunday. Let's see.
And that's free.
And that's free. Okay, good. And any last things about tickets to the gala? Where are they available?
Well,
again?
tickets will sell out, so I encourage people to go to our website, www.capeannpleinair.com. Scroll down, you will see the gala ticket portal. Just click on that PayPal account and sign up and buy your tickets today, because they will sell out. They sell out every year.
Right.
The sooner you buy it, the better off everybody is.
And again, it's $75. It's fast food, bites, and you can
Cash bar.
and cash bar, and you can take that $75 off the price of a piece of artwork that you buy that night.
Correct.
Right.
That's pretty great.
Yep, it's a great deal.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, and thank you,
Thanks,
Susan.
Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Mike.
And thank you to the audience of
Absolutely.
Cape Ann.
Cape Ann.
We'll see you out there at Cape Ann Plein Air. Please come to the event. Come see the work and the great artwork that's created during this week.